anywhere from 800 to 1,000 words a minute. But Cliff's got a lot of friends that read, 1,500, 1,800 words a minute using Vortex.
Sure. I took Evelyn Wood reading dynamics, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, except from the people who've taken, speed reading programs.
Yeah.
They say the recall is much better on this. I mean, I can still vividly remember pieces of books that I've vortexed into my head, and it happens so fast and effortlessly.
Yeah.
There's no train-up time. I mean, you literally can take somebody who's dyslexic and reading 50 words a minute and pop them up to 200, 300, 400 words a minute with no training.
Well, it might be worth taking a look at that one.
Nah, not really.
Really?
It's genius level stuff that Cliff does.
Yeah.
But it's I was off doing wireless transmission of radio. Wireless transmission of data over main channel of radio stations as a public affairs show on KMPS when I was news director there back in 1983. And, there we were at the bleeding edge of wireless technology, and the world took 14 years to catch up.
Wow.
So, just because Cliff's first or just because I've been first in a few things doesn't mean we get rich in the deal.
Damn it.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's why it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
When dealing with web bots to not get the time thing right. Still, I mean, the bots were right about shorting Fannie Mae at 74
sure.
and shorting AIG in the 70s and other things. So it's not like the technology is unrewarding for those who subscribe to it.
I'm not going to ask you if you did short, but
no, actually, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I did not, but I will tell you that our silver holdings have gone up dramatically, and a lot of people say, well, where do you go to buy silver? Because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And I've done business with both Kitco and California Numismatics. And there's a few other outfits out on the web that are reputable.
Right.
And so you can really buy 100-ounce bars of silver for right around what the spot price is, maybe a few cents. Oh. And then, depending on where you live in the country, figure, 30, 40 cents an ounce for delivery.
That's interesting. What about gold? Is that going to go crazy too?
Oh, sure.
It will.
Sure. In fact, I did an interesting thing here a couple of weeks ago. And I don't put this stuff out on my site every day because people get tired of it. They think the People's Economist just has the same rap week after week, and yes he does, and no he doesn't.
Right.
Yes he does, because we are at that point where we cannot have worker standards of living continuing to decline because we're exporting everybody's job to India. And at the same time claim to have a robust, increasing gross domestic product. When you look at the gross domestic product and you back out the financial sector, and by that I mean you back out collections, you back out the banksters, you back out the refi kids, and in fact, if you back out refis themselves, because many people are refining just to make ends meet.
Yeah, right.
When you back that stuff out, it's like, no, the country is not in a positive gross domestic product, and the illusion of productivity, is just not all, but it's 95% smoke and mirrors, because I don't care if you're running a Commodore 64 from 20 years ago, or if you're running, like I am, a state-of-the-art hyper-threading Toshiba satellite widescreen, high-resolution, dual-screen plugged-in, wireless G smoke box. I can't type. I can't type any damn faster today. I still type at about 100 words a minute.
Yeah.
And people say, "Oh, George, you're kind of a high-energy guy, right?" No, I type fast.
Okay. That's
so people go, oh, how can you do that? All that stuff in your column every day, and so on and so forth. And I thought, what you see in the daily updates on urban survival represents 45 minutes of my effort and a 20 to 30-minute phone call with Cliff every morning to kind of go, okay, what's on your radar, what's coming off the data streams, yada, yada, yada.
Okay.
I just type fast.
So we know that something, and I find it interesting, only because very rarely do I come out and publicly say something, but you just verified some of the things that I felt when I came out and made that statement.
Well, I haven't got to the weird stuff. When can I get to the weird stuff?
Right now. That's what I was leading up to.
Because we got another half hour, right?
No, we got another hour.
Oh, cool. You're gonna probably run out of things to talk to me about.
I doubt that.
Okay. Well, let's get into the subject of what I call the ultimate weirdness.
Okay.
And it's something that dawned on Cliff and I when we were talking on Tuesday morning, and it was really, really interesting. I'm running a recording engineer school here in Los Angeles, well, North Hollywood, and it's a neat little school, and it's 24-karat people, and it's really a neat career, and yada yada yada. But as part and parcel of getting the school ready to physically move to a new studio we're building, looks like we're going to build it over in Alhambra. In the process of that, I had a compulsion on Monday to go into work and tear ass through everything on my desk. I mean, I had a stack of papers, Alex, that was a good foot and a half high in my inbox.
Jeez, my God.
Well, I mean, when you go through the purchase of an accredited school, and you've got curriculum, and you've got it is a highly regulated industry. It is extremely technical, and there are a million moving parts to it. So I had this foot and a half high thing of paper, and most of it was stuff that just either A, hadn't been filed, or B, I had hung on to because, in transactions you got to keep every bit of due diligence, yada yada yada. So that was my foot and a half high paper. So I went through that and distilled it down to half an inch high, and stuff that I subsequently have completely dealt with this week. Okay?
Okay, I'm going to ask you why.
Well, don't go there yet.
Okay.
So Cliff and I were talking about this compulsion thing.
Yes.
And I wrote, and this is what I put on my website on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what's even more interesting, though, is the conversation with Cliff that followed. We compared notes and found it extraordinary that on Monday, and I'm paraphrasing a couple of places here to put it in, to date corrected, we were compelled over the past couple of days to finish up lingering projects that have been weighing on both of us. I had my big stack of paper. Yeah. Cliff, on the other hand, was going through a compulsion, getting ready for, he doesn't know what either, but he fixed a leaky oil seal on his diesel generator that he can run his house on.
Really?
He had a gasoline backup generator that had some kind of a problem that he fixed. He had a problem with his van. He charged up his renewable energy system. And he, too, had a number of nuisance projects. So I wrote, it's almost like there's a vibe going on, at least in our part of the universe, which says, get ready for something big. And I said, and this is interesting, now, the science experiment prior to this big reversal of positions event, and that's the headline on Cliff's Advisory this week, in the form of a question for readers like you. Have you experienced a sudden urge in the past few days to finish unfinished projects? If so, click here to send us a report. Okay?
Yeah.
How many responses do you think I got?
It's either a hell of a lot or next to nothing.
140 people.
That's pretty good.
Well, considering that in tests of response, and you were around radio, so you know that a response by 140 people probably represents 1,400 people. And if I look at my website statistics, my website gets maybe 14 to 18,000 page views a day, right?
Yeah,
so we can kind of infer from that that perhaps as many as 10% of the population has felt some kind of little compulsion. And it's really interesting because I went through and started tallying up what people were feeling compulsed about. Okay?
Yeah.
I gotta find, here we are. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The biggest majority of people are feeling the compulsion to finish things up because they feel like something big is about to occur, but they can't put their finger on it.
That's exactly what I said, wasn't it?
Exactly what you said. Exactly. 25% of people, and this is fascinating to me, 25% of the population that responded, and got to realize, again, this is a self-selecting group of net jobs that read urbansurvival.com on a daily basis. 25% of people said that shelter was the object of their compulsion. So in other words, one guy's finishing up his house. Another guy says, I decided to upgrade to my general ham ticket and get my HF ready. So he comes in at, 4% of people that feel a compulsion to fix personal communications. 18% are compulsed or are feeling compulsions to stock up on food. I had a couple of people write, that I've never bought 50-pound sacks of potatoes in my life, and I have no idea why I did it, but I just did. What the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
Isn't that bizarre?
Boy, sure.
And 7% of the people were saying things like, my family, I feel like I have to get things in order. And now I get to what I thought was absolutely the capper, and forgive me here, it's going to take a little bit of time while I get back to my I've got 4,900 emails in my inbox. And one of these days I have to go through some of this stuff and deal with it.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why God made holidays, so we could clean out.
Yeah, right.
Let Microsoft do its processing stuff. I've got to find the letter, because I got this very, very curious letter from a woman and her husband who not only told me that they were having there it went. Where did it go? They were having the same kind of compulsion stuff, but it was much more than that. Say something here for a minute while I scroll through
George,
this.
what you're doing, it plays up, and I'm trying to focus on what I was seeing, what I was picking up when I said this the other day, and the feelings. This is uncanny because you're saying the same thing, but the feelings that I've been having for a couple of weeks now, and I'm trying to relate it because Arth and I are trying to get stuff done in the cabin